What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another Mullet Man episode. I'm getting back to the roots of Mullet Man. I went back and searched some videos that y'all loved in the past this time of year. I was kind of stuck in a rut trying to figure out what you guys liked, and the only thing I could do was to think of go back and see what I've done previously that you guys love. So one of those things was just night hunting in general this time of year in the winter, going after anything: coons, possums, rabbits, raccoons, coons, and just having a good time. So that's what I'm doing. It's late, it's like 10 o'clock, it's actually almost 11. I just stopped off and got some kolaches, got a monster and some zingers, and we're gonna go to my buddy's land down the road, and he gave me permission to go over there and just go ride around. I got the thermals, and I actually have the air guns tonight with me. So I took off the trail, and I'm gonna use that as my handheld tonight, but I have it pretty down to where I can put it right back on my AR, and it's pretty much dead on, so I don't have to mess with it a lot. But tonight I am shooting the raw. It's a Rapid Air Weapons 1000, and it has the pulsar on top of it as well. A lot of questions about what air guns you should get, what you should get for certain things, and you can get every air gun you can ever imagine at Utah Air Guns. They're one of my sponsors, as well as Air Force Air Guns. Raw is owned by Air Force Air Guns. So if you want to go check out Utah Air Guns, utahairguns.com, and you can get a list of all kinds of different air guns there. And if you want an Air Force Air Guns, they have Air Force Air Guns in stock, so you can order directly from Utah Air Guns. So if you're looking to get an air gun, I suggest, if you're only small game hunting, I would go with a 25 cal, which is what I'm using tonight. You can shoot all the way up to coyotes if you make a good shot. You can definitely put down a coyote with it. And if you're shooting big game, it depends on in your state, but most states require 45 cal and bigger. So I would go with a 45 cal or 50 cal. But like I said, we're gonna go do a little rabbit hunting. Who knows what else we'll get into. May find some raccoons, and I've also been having problems with armadillos tearing up my yard. So I may go by the house before or after the hunt and see if I can find those armadillos. But we're gonna do a catch, clean, and cook on something tonight. Let's just go have fun and do a little air gun thermal hunting. And a little kolache action while we're at it. Hate it when they don't heat up my kolache all the way. There's one of them. The other perfect little rabbit. Well, we got 2 perfect eating size rabbits. This is like the best time of the year that I like to eat rabbits. It's like middle of February. They don't have worms, and they are delicious. So I think we're gonna make some rabbit and dumplings. That's my favorite recipe. And they are everywhere tonight. Passed up on a few jackrabbits. Missed a skunk. Saw a few possums. Didn't want to really mess with the possums, but I was really hoping to come out and get a few rabbits, and that's what we did. So I'm gonna drive around a little longer and see if we can't find some more rabbits, and then we're gonna head back to the house and clean them up and get them ready to cook for tomorrow. All right, guys, I made it back. I looked for the armadillos at the house and did not see them anywhere. So I'm gonna clean one of these for you guys. I'm gonna put them in the bowl, and then I'm gonna go inside and we're gonna go ahead and put them in the crock pot tonight on low and let them cook all night long. We want that meat super tender, fork tender, and then we'll make our rabbit and dumplings tomorrow. So rabbits are super easy to clean. You don't need a knife. It can help in the gutting process, but basically all you do is take these legs, break that skin, pull down, and do that on both sides. They have really thin skin, so you want to try to keep as much hair off of them as possible, but it can be really hard. Just make sure your rabbit doesn't get wet, because once it gets wet, that hair does not come off that meat easy at all. So grab that skin, you know, just work it down the whole length of the rabbit. I cut through that a little bit because I can't show a lot of that on YouTube. So if you want to see the full version of how to clean a rabbit and you want to see the details and everything like that, I'll leave the link in the description to my Mullet Man Uncut channel. Over there we show literally everything. So all the red stuff, all the guts, everything, you can see that over there. So click that link in the description. Y'all go sign up over at Mullet Man Uncut, and there's tons of exclusive videos over there as well. Stuff like this, deer, everything, all the stuff you want to see is over there. So I'm gonna clean this other rabbit for the Uncut channel as well, and if you don't go over there, I'll see you guys in the kitchen. All right, guys, so I got the rabbits all cleaned up. Use some kitchen shears, and we are going to break this rabbit down into quarters and put it in our crock pot. So this is not actually a crock pot, it's a new thing. It's pretty cool. Angel does it. It's called 360 cookware. I'll leave the link in the description. It's like no toxins. Apparently crock pots have all kinds of toxins in them when it's cooking, and all that stuff somehow gets in your food. So this is what we're using. I'm trying to be quiet if you haven't noticed. Ryder is asleep, so we're gonna be using this, but all we're gonna do is quarter this guy up, quarter these rabbits up. I'm gonna cut this, so I'm just putting these quarters in here. I'm gonna cut this bloodshot stuff out. That little skin right there doesn't do a whole lot anyway. Cut those ribs out. It just creates more bones to pick through. So this is where a ton of meat is, and this tenderloins and the back straps. Cut that into a few chunks, and then obviously the front quarters. Drop that one in. Get this quarter over here. And then the neck and the rest of the back goes in as well. Same on this big guy. That's good. All right, so the last few pieces going in. This is nothing but rib meat and that thin meat with a lot of sinew on it. So we're left with a nice hefty bowl of rabbit meat. So all we're gonna do is add some organic vegetable broth. You can add chicken broth or beef broth if you want to. This is just gonna help the breakdown process when we're cooking it. So this is just gonna keep the rabbit from drying out. So about a half a box of broth, and that is all we're gonna be cooking it in. So put that on there, bring it over here to the old hot pad and plug it in. So regular crock pot, I'd put it on low all night long. I'm gonna put it on like a 1.5, 2, and we're gonna let this sit all night long, and I'll see you in the morning. I'm going to bed. We're gonna be eating good for lunch tomorrow. All right, guys, it is the next morning, and our our rabbit has been cooking. See how this seals? It seals shut, so it kind of pressure cooks it in a way. So we're gonna bring this, I keep saying chicken. We're gonna take this rabbit out and we're gonna start stripping the meat. So take a few of these pieces out, let them start cooling off a little bit. That meat, look at that, it's just already coming off perfectly. I'm also gonna get a bowl to put it in. So we'll put all the meat back into this bowl, and then everything's gonna eventually go back in to this. But first, we're gonna do, just take a fork and just strip that meat right off the bones. All this meat will go into here. We'll work at it a little more and make sure you get all that meat. But look how tender that meat is coming off these bones. It just strips right off, and all you're left with is bones. Here's the back strap. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna get all of this rabbit meat right here. We're gonna take every little piece of meat off that we can, get it over into this bowl, and then I'll show you the next steps. This is a super simple rabbit and dumplings recipe, and it is delicious. Alright guys, so you can see 2 rabbits get you a ton of meat, and you can make this go a long way, especially in something like this, like rabbit and dumplings. So I'm gonna take a strainer, put it in there, put a little paper towel in there, because I don't want any little bones or anything that may have fell off the quarters to get in there. So there's a lot of kind of clunky stuff in there. Drain this back into the rabbit. Like I said, we're just basically pulling out little bones or little clumps of stuff that you don't need. Let that drain back into the rabbit meat. Try to get as much of that as you can. That is pure rabbit broth with a little bit of vegetable broth in there. So now that we have our rabbit back in there, I'm gonna dump it right back in to our main pot. And now we start adding our ingredients. So we're gonna take a little bit of Critter Glitter Red, dust it off just a little bit, put a little bit of that in there, lots and lots of black pepper. I'm gonna take a can of cream of chicken soup. You may need 2 cans of it for 2 rabbits. We're gonna see if this will be enough. And this is just going to mix with that broth and make it more of a soup, but we like our rabbit and dumplings pretty thick. So we'll start mixing that around. We're gonna put it back on our hot plate, let it heat back up, and bring it to, you can bring it to a boil, you don't have to, but you want it hot enough to where your biscuits will cook. So Once this gets all mixed in nice and good, and that rabbit is just gonna keep shredding whenever you mix this, so it'll kind of make it just like strands of meat in there. So we'll let this cook down a little bit, and then we'll start cutting our biscuits up for dumplings. So I'm gonna add a little milk. Angel said that the biscuits are gonna soak up a lot of that liquid, so we'll mix that milk in. It's already a perfect consistency, but we'll let this start cooking up, and I'm gonna add a little more black pepper in there too. We love black pepper, so add that in there, and we'll start cutting these biscuits up. Last and final step of this simple chicken, or I keep saying chicken, rabbit and dumplings recipe. Can of biscuits. You can make homemade biscuits if you got the time for it. But take you some biscuits and cut them into quarters. You want to take those quarters, just kind of flatten them out. Drop them in, let them start cooking. And as soon as those biscuits are done cooking, you start eating. So you can see those biscuits in there, and you can see, since I've been stirring it up, all that rabbit meat just gets stringy and delicious. So we'll keep letting those biscuits cook in there. You just drop them in, and they'll all float to the top. Once they're done, we'll do a little taste test. All right guys, the rabbit and dumplings is complete. I'm still talking quiet because Ryder's taking a nap now, so it is insanely windy here in Texas right now. But we're gonna do a little taste test on this rabbit and dumplings. Look at that, so delicious. Put a couple scoops in here, get a couple of those dumplings, get a bunch of rabbit meat. Ooh, just like that. Go ahead. Last step, little Cholulas or Red Hot. Put a little dab in there. Now we eat. So I'm gonna get a little rabbit going in here. 1 out of 10, rabbit and dumplings, fresh. So tender, and that hot sauce gives it the perfect bite. Ten out of 10. We're gonna have to go get some more rabbits to put in the freezer for the rest of the year. That is better than any chicken and dumplings I've ever had, hands down. But hope you guys enjoyed this little video. Trying to bring it back to what you guys enjoyed. So y'all leave it in the comments what you guys like to see, and I will do my best to do all that. So like I said before, if you want to see all the uncut stuff, the link is in the description, Mulletman Uncut. Y'all go check it out, and stay tuned. I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, and remember, eat good.